Hey everyone, welcome to Adventures in Everyday Cooking, where every day can be an adventure in your kitchen. My name is Heather, and today we are going to sous vide boiled eggs. Now, I don't think it's actually called sous videing. The direct translation to sous vide is under vacuum. So this is not actually under vacuum, but we are going to use our immersion circulator, which does our sous videing, to hard boil eggs. Now, yes, I know, I've hard boiled eggs in the Instant Pot, the air fryer, the oven, on the stovetop. I've done it all. I'm having a party this weekend because it's my birthday and thinking about Easter and thinking about all these things. And I'm like, oh my goodness, why haven't I used my immersion circulator to hard boil eggs? Is that a thing? And you guys, it is a thing. Why have I not known this before now? I have never done this, so I thought I would take you along for the same adventure. So if you have an immersion circulator, let's do this adventure together. You ready? Let's go. So the first thing you're going to want to do is get your immersion circulator set to 185. 185 means that entire yolk will be cooked and completely the same color. There'll be no gooey in the middle. Now, if you are going to hard boil these for dine for this weekend, this is the ideal temperature that you're going to want your eggs at. Next thing you're going to need is a dozen or so eggs. What I love about this method, in my mind, I don't know about it yet, is that I can do as many as I want inside of this container, as many as it will fit, and it will still work just the same. I don't know if you've seen those TikToks around about making sure your egg, the membrane separates from the egg, but I thought I would try it with this batch and just see what happens. So I have a little spreader here and I'm just gonna tap it until we hear it separate. So I don't even know if this is gonna work or not. Whoops. Okay, that's too dingy. Let me find a dingy. If you have not seen this before, if I'm just being crazy and you're like, what is she doing? They say that if you tap on the butt end, so the wide end of the egg, you will actually separate the membrane from the shell and they will peel more easily. So when you start to tap it, it's one sound, and when it separates, it's another. So I'm gonna leave it up here next to my microphone so you can hear the difference in sound. There you go. That's the sound that you want to hear. So we will do that to all the eggs and we'll see. Actually, we'll leave 2 not done. And then I'll mark those so we'll see if it actually does work. So it's kind of a TikTok made me do it and I just want to know if this works or not. That's a very interesting little concept though. I'll mark them with a little X so that we know that we did not do that. Hopefully that doesn't come off in the water. I didn't think about that. All right, and if you're impatient like me and it's only at 173, you're gonna go ahead and drop your eggs in with a slotted spoon so they don't bounce off the bottom. It needs to be at 185, but I figure what's it gonna hurt? They're not gonna overcook because it's the perfect temperature of water, right? I think it's okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and lower these in. Oh, and immediately I see a crack in that one. Okay, I don't know if that's due to me using the spoon to crack, but do you see the crack on that shell? I'm not gonna lift it out of the water, but do you see that crack on that shell? That is a very large crack, but none of the eggs are leaking out. So there's a crack on that one. See, look at the massive crack on that. But maybe it'll be fine. And the last one going in that's marked. All right, and now we're gonna set a timer for 25 minutes once it gets to the right temperature. So at 185, I'll set up for 25 minutes. And then I'm gonna get these out and get them in an ice bath for 5 minutes, and then we're gonna peel them. Okay, the time is up. I have my bowl of ice here, and I'm gonna put a little bit of water in there to make it ice water, and then we are gonna fish these guys out. Now, all of the directions say to let it ice bath for 5 minutes, which is kind of normal for all eggs. I'm happy to report that my eggs with the X's on them stayed. I see the X's just fine. And all the ones with cracks, check it out, none of them burst open. I mean, yes, they have cracks on them, but they're not burst like sometimes when you boil eggs, they kind of burst open and something grows on the outside. Nope, nothing. So that's good news. A lot of people ask why you have to ice bath it. Basically, it's just to solidify those whites and to chill them out, because when they are warm, they actually become a lot more malleable. And when they're cold, they're a lot firmer. So there you go. All right, well, now that these are in the ice water, we'll be back in about 5 minutes. All right, here we go. We are gonna peel some of these eggs. So let's go for one of the ones with the X on it first, just so that I can see just how normal this egg peels. Oh yeah, that's pretty normal. It's not terrible though, but breaks apart. It's not really sticking to it. Just feels like a normal peel. Yep, that's normal. Looks good. Normal egg. Okay, let's find the other one. There's the other X. We'll do both normals just to start with. Whoops, I just ripped it. Okay, so that's not very well at all. It's sticking quite hard. Oh, I took a chunk out of the egg. Look at that. Do you see that? I took a chunk. It's fine. That's why we're doing this, because this is the normal way to peel eggs. And the frustration you get, especially when you want perfect eggs, like this one would pass as perfect, but I don't know if you can see that. Look there's some chunks out of that one. Rude. So those two are the normal eggs. Normal. Okay, so these ones are the ones where we tapped the top of them. This is that one that I showed you a picture of, and as it sat in the water, the shell kind of went down a little further. So we're just going to start with that section and peel it right off. That's significantly easier than the first one. That's coming off like magic. Okay, let's try one of these ones that doesn't have a crack in it. I mean, it's not exceptionally easier to peel so far, but I will say that it's easier because they're coming off in larger chunks, because I think because there was some air between the shell and the egg, and then it allowed some water in there. That one came off exceptionally well. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is we are gonna cut this right down the center and see what the inside looks like. Bum, bum, bum. Oh, okay. So let's turn it over. Wah, wah, wah. It's a little bit gray, which I'm not really a fan of. So I might, but the inside looks really great. So I might drop the temperature of the water down just a little bit, probably maybe 175, and try it again. But overall, I don't think anybody would be sad about this egg. Let me get it closer so you can see the gray that I'm talking about. See the little bit of gray that's on there? Really, I like my yolks to all be the same color like that. But overall, I'm impressed with how those cooked in general. I don't think anybody would be sad about that, but they are a tiny bit overcooked for me. But you know what? I think this is definitely something that I can mess with. That's a good hack, and that's a good way to do boiled eggs. Good egg, but yes, the yolks are a tiny bit overcooked. Oh well, have you ever made eggs in your sous vide? And if you did, what temperature did you do yours at and for how long? I want to know, because I think that this is going to be my preferred method for doing any type of eggs in the future. And if you are going to boil your eggs for Easter, go ahead and use your immersion circulator, but don't tap the tops. Otherwise, you're going to crack the shell, and you definitely don't want to crack your shell. The ones that I did not tap did not have any cracks on the shell, so it worked out perfectly. All right, you guys, well, that's it for me. If you enjoyed that video, give it a like. I do videos several times a week, and I'm always looking for the next adventure. So leave me a comment and let me know what you'd like to see me try. I'm all about the adventure. So sometimes they're easy adventures like eggs in the sous vide. Like before today, I never thought about it before today. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna do this video. So sometimes you guys say things to me and I'm like, oh, that's such a great idea. I will definitely check that out. So leave me a comment and let me know what you think. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next adventure. Bye.